All right, well, let's break down the main event. Massive amount on the line in the main event as former champion Robert Whittaker returns for the first time since losing the belt to Israel Adesanya back in October. He'll throw down with Darren Till, Jordan, who is unbeaten since the move to middleweight. The current odds for this fight, and we've had some movement, this from Denver Sports Betting and also DraftKings, has the former champ Robert Whittaker as the favorite at minus 125. I saw it opened at minus 135, so some money is coming in on the underdog, which is Darren Till. The comeback on Till is plus 105. He opened up, from what I saw, at plus 115. So extremely close odds for this key matchup. Jordan, give us your thoughts.
Just like you said, I mean, it's as close to an even money sort of betting situation in my eyes, evaluating the fight, as you could be. There's some things that really have to be answered in this fight, if you will. If we take a look at where Robert Whittaker is, yes, Robert Whittaker, he's a former world champion, and he's only 29 years old, which by, the traditional linear sense, when you're thinking about it, he still has time to get back there. But right, if we also look at it from this angle, from a different perspective, he's had a lot of mileage put on those tires already at only 29 years old. Given the fact that at one point he was killing his body to make 170 pounds, that takes some time off of, the end of your career when you have those tough weight cuts at times. And he's had some wars. Being that he was a world champion at such a young age, Ron, that means that he was fighting the best of the best in the top tier competition from a very young age. And with having multiple defenses or fights while being the champion, then that means that he spent a lot of time as being the hunted and not being the hunter. So that means that those were camps that he was preparing 25 minutes for. And yes, the second Yoel fight was not technically for the title, but they still went 25 minutes.
War. Absolutely.
He went 50 minutes with Yoel Romero, who people have been on record stating that it physically hurts to hit this man. So when you're talking about the wear and tear on Robert Whittaker's body, on his psyche, he's been vocal and been open about his mental health issues. You have to ask the questions in why he's had so many layoffs or such a long duration of layoffs in between his fights. So seeing the way that he comes back against a young lion like Darren Till, or young gorilla, should I say, being that that's his nickname, it's going to be a good indicator to see where he's at. Because in the last fight, a lot of people say that it was just Israel being in his head. Well, if he was really just taking up real estate in Rob's head rent-free, then we should see it, that being the case within this fight. He should come back and look like the Rob of old, in theory.
Right. That's a great point. The X factors here are immense in this fight. I agree with you, Jordan, that Whittaker has faced some incredible quality opponents. It's on another level to me compared to Darren Till. You mentioned his fights twice with Yoel Romero, just absolute wars, but he's also been in there with Derek Brunson and Jacare, and of course with the champ Adesanya. So I think that Whittaker is, when he is healthy, is one of the most well-rounded and well-conditioned fighters in the division. Now Till, the mindset of Darren Till is going to be questioned too. He was being teased as the next big superstar. I don't think he's reached the middleweight elite yet. He could be, he could one day get there, but he could also be champion. But right now, I think when you look at his fight game, he's a little predictable. He'll stand in front of the opponent. He'll juke and move and fake and feint, and then just throws some combos trying to land that massive knockout. And I don't think that's a great game plan against Whittaker. The X factor, as I mentioned, Whittaker has lost the title to current champ Israel Adesanya, and maybe at that point lost his passion for the sport. Maybe it was something that you alluded to, Jordan, just the beat downs in some of these fights and being such a young guy in the sport to go through those wars. But it seems like he was dealing with some burnout from MMA. It's at this point, from the interviews that I have seen and the reports coming off of Fight Island, it seems the fire has been lit again, and he is ready to come back and prove that he is one of the top fighters in the sport. A motivated and, more importantly, healthy Robert Whittaker is a dangerous and very scary man. But, you know, on the flip side, Till seems to have a new attitude too. He comes in almost with a humble type of confidence, I believe is how he described it. And he has a lot to prove as well. So let's get to it. Jordan, who do you like in this fight?
I'm so torn because I don't know how Robert's going to look coming off of the knockout. So that being said, I mean, Darren Till has an eerie sort of chill factor, or I don't know what the right word is, but the aura that he's carrying about himself, the vibe that he has, he's very calm, he's very cool, he's very collected. He seems as confident in himself that he's ever been. One thing that we have to look at too with Darren Till, and that, you know, you mentioned some of his predictability aspects, but he is also only 27. So how much of that has been addressed? How much is he continuing to improve and maybe still work on some of those tells, because he is just that young and still continuing to grow as far as what his game is. I'm going to go with Darren Till in this one.
All right, I like it because I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Robert Whittaker, the favorite coming into this fight, albeit very slightly. I think every fight is a must-win, of course, but this is really a must-win for Whittaker if he wants to get another shot at Adesanya. I think Whittaker will outstrike Till, who won't have the size and the physical advantage that he has enjoyed in other fights. And again, this is really a must-win for both of these guys, but I think there's more on the line for the former champ Whittaker. We will see. I'm going to go with the favorite, Robert Whittaker. Current odds as we are recording today has Whittaker coming in at minus 125. The comeback on Till is plus 105.